What's up, guys and gals? Your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys the very late review. If you guys want to know why it is a late review, there will be a video either released before this review or after the review. I'm not sure, but let's just get on with the video so I don't waste your time or mine in case you just don't care about what happened. Either way, let's get on to Ayakashi Triangle, Chapter 62 review. Honestly, like the chapter, I really did. Do I have a lot to say about it? Not really. Not exactly. I like the direction of how the plot is going. We're sort of stepping away, and I know I keep calling it the cookie cutter villain of the week stuff, but that's because it's still relevant. It still maintains its point. And in this particular instance, I would argue that, yeah, it's getting away from that. We're getting a bit of an arc. We're getting an overall plot. And I like these details. I very much enjoy these details. And the fact of the matter is that I enjoy this fight. I like Garaku's reasoning. Some people are going to argue Garaku's reasoning here. But realistically, now, most of my viewers, I believe, are, under the age of 30, around my age or younger. So maybe some of you aren't in the boat that might be able to understand Garaku. But you take, hopefully some of your guys' parents are still together or something, right? You take your parents. You take people that have been married 20, 30 years. And I'm just using this as a benchmark just to say people who have been around the block more often than most of us. And they've been married 20, 30 years together, right? And they still love each other, they're still together, yada, yada, yada. And then you take that person away, regardless what logic up here says, in here is going to say something totally different. So in defense of Garaku, because some people might complain about him. I don't know, I haven't checked Reddit or anything like that, but some people might complain that Garaku should be smarter about this. He knows Mai is now a Jinyo and all that fun jazz, right? Like, knows all that. And acknowledges it to it. This is not us speculating. He blatantly states it. He knows what's going on. And he goes, basically, this don't matter. Because this is saying no. That's all he's saying. That's a simplified version of what he's saying, but that's pretty much what he's saying. And realistically, I don't think anybody who hasn't been in a long-term relationship for an extremely long time can judge that man. I've been with my wife about 10 years-ish, and I've been married for a few of those. And I'm telling you right now that this would go out the fucking window tomorrow, in his situation. So, yeah. And I've only been married for a few years. Been together for a long time, but not, So, I can only imagine how Garaku is feeling, especially the man who has waited, basically 100 years. He's waited a century, So, some people might complain about this. I don't know who will, but yeah, there is that to say about Garaku's motivation here in this chapter. And also, the designs of the Wind God and Thunder God, though they're very similar, I definitely enjoy them. I like the aesthetic. I like the very classic Oni beard, big eyes, that kind of look to them, the Oni ogre sort of look to the Thunder God and the Wind God and stuff. Matsuri even acknowledges after, of course, Matsuri's cone has been sealed by the jutsu in the last chapter, in chapter 61, and here we're getting the fact that he's going to use the Wind God against him just to sort of rub it in a little bit, you know what I mean? And I like that they acknowledge that and stuff. Now Matsuri remembers the whole octopus thing, the whole water, the rain and stuff. It's ink, so I can rub it off and stuff. And this is acknowledged at the end of the chapter, and I really like the direction they take that. But pretty much, Garaku recognizes that that's what Matsuri's going to do. He's going to try to rinse off the ink. It's not a permanent seal because it's based in ink. If he washes it off, it should go away. Now, at this point, Garaku also states that he notices a similarity. Doesn't it feel sad to be powerless right now? And he's recognizing what happened to him and Mai back a century or so ago. So, here, we're also getting, or was it a century? It was more than a century, wasn't it? I tend to forget, my bad. But either way, we get some good moments in this chapter because Shirogane showing up, full form, and you guys know how much I love Shirogane. Shirogane, I believe, is still top tier. He's just not able to access all his power, and he shows up in his full form. Garaku's surprised. Matsuri's surprised. Shirogane goes, nope, Trickster Demon style, it's transformation jutsu, and Suzu, they set up a plan. Boom, 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 really quick. Good for Shirogain on his part. They destroy the Wind and Thunder God very, very easily with the origami, and then Suzu goes in and uses the same technique that Mai did, using then not only destroying those two, using an origami decoy while attacking from the other side to destroy the paintbrush that Garaku was wielding. And at this point, this is where Garaku says, well, I'll take the L right now, you guys get the W, I'll take the L, and pieces out. Matsuri tries to give chase. Shirogain says, you're a moron, what are you supposed to do right now? And then we recognize that there's, and you know what, the dynamic here, of course, Matsuri is frustrated, but this isn't a gender thing. I like the fact that the heroine is actually not just damsel in distress all the time. She's got her own abilities, she's got her own power, and slowly but surely, after 60 chapters, she's come into her own somewhat, and is actually able to do a few things like this. And it's like, all right, cool, cool, cool. I like that idea, right? It's not just the gender bent male doing all the work, right? It's actually, you know, she's carrying her own weight in this story, and that's really nice to see, because there's a lot of stories that don't do that, of course, and I feel like manga does that a lot better than a lot of Western stories do, but still, it's still nice to see, regardless how many times it's done, that they're more equals rather than one superior over the other, right? One's always protecting, they both want to protect each other, yada, yada, yada. So that's pretty cool. Of course, Matsuri's mad about this, but as I said, Matsuri's not mad because a woman saved him. He's mad because he's the bodyguard. He's the protector. It's his job to protect. This is his self-imposed thing. It's not, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I sort of get his duty and his honor and his pride. That kind of stuff is the deal there. Now, Garaku brings up the last part of the chapter is that Mai is going to send Hinojiki after Matsuri at this point. Because Garaku even states, like, though I failed to kill them, you have to remember that it's acting like a tattoo right now. They can't just wash off the artist's curse jutsu. They, like, maybe immediately, sort of like a burn or something like that. Like you get acid, just like, okay, wash it off as fast. You're still going to get some scarring, but maybe you won't completely damage maybe it won't go down to the bone, it won't go down, you know, there's a lot of chemicals like that, right? But in this case, the ink is acting like a tattoo. It's permeated the skin. It's been on the skin too long before you could wash it off. That's more of an implication, but I'm going to assume that is that the longer that stays on before he could wash it off, hence why he destroyed the fountain. He destroyed the fountain because maybe it didn't have enough time to permeate the skin. But then it finally did. It's in the skin, even after a long time, though it's not permanent. Garaku even says it permeated the skin, but it's not permanent. Either way, he won't be able to use, no matter if he washes it off, yeah, he'll get some of it gone, but at this point, it's penetrated his skin, like a tattoo, and he's not going to be able to use his wind jutsu for a while. This is where Mind says, like, sort of asks about, like, what are you going to do here, Garaku? Like, did you just not really want to kill him or something like that? Like, what are you playing at? And Garaku basically says, my brush, at the end of the day, you're not wrong, my brush is for painting, and I would really rather not it be tainted with blood if I can help it. And she says, I'm going to buy that story for now, but once again, maybe Garaku is playing the long game here. Maybe Garaku is actually on their side, recognizes that this isn't Mai anymore, and is playing the whole, because as I said at the beginning of the review, you can understand the man from this point of view, but maybe no matter what, he knows also in here, he knows this isn't her. And though it's going to break his heart to do this, he has to play the double agent. He's got to play the double agent. It's possible Garaku is going down that line. It's a 50-50 shot. Either he's truly the it's insulting to say it's a one-dimensional, to not play the double agent. But is it the surface level? Is it surface level for him to be following his heart? Absolutely. No matter what, this is still Mai, Jinyo or not, still her. Problem solved. Or is it a little deeper than that? Who knows? But either way, Mai decides to send out Hinojiki after Matsuri, and we're going to have to see what he's going to be able to do without his wind jutsu. Is Soga going to show up? Is Rei going to show up? Is Suzu going to now have to play the role of bodyguard of Matsuri instead? Like this chapter. Who knows? But either way, that's chapter 62. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and the fourth and most important thing, as always, drink responsibly, as always. As I always do, we will see you guys back here next time for chapter 63 of Ayakashi Triangle. Looking forward to it. See you later.